Hi, John Williams here along Highway 14 in Washington State. I'm in the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area. 80 miles of lands protected for the enjoyment of all who travel here. Steigerwald Lake National Wildlife Refuge is our first stop on a tour of accessible day-use facilities. Located near Washougal on Highway 14, Steigerwald Lake National Wildlife Refuge is the gateway to the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area. The trail is accessible to wheelchairs, but please note, the parking lot and the area to the accessible restrooms is loose gravel, so you might need a little assistance. Once you're on the trail, it's compacted gravel. I had no problem in my wheelchair. Come on, let's take a hike. Archaeological excavations at the upstream entrance to the Columbia River Gorge have documented the presence of Native Americans for at least 10,000 years. The first Europeans to discover the mouth of the Columbia River was Captain Robert Gray and his party in 1792. Steigerwald Lake National Wildlife Refuge was created in 1984. Over 1,000 acres of historic lakebed and river bottomland habitat, preserving hundreds of species of plants and animals. 12 miles east of Steigerwald Lake, just past milepost 30, is St. Cloud Day Use Picnic Area. Be careful crossing the railroad tracks as trains are in this area frequently. St. Cloud was named by longtime owners of the property, Paul and Florence Veal. They named their ranch after the suburb of Paris, France, where they spent their honeymoon in 1903. The old St. Cloud Ranch was purchased and restored by the U.S. Forest Service in 1990. The Veal's old apple orchard still exists, and it's the perfect stop to enjoy a picnic and a refreshing pause in your travels. Nestled in the apple orchard, you'll find an accessible compacted gravel pathway and picnic tables. From St. Cloud, looking across the Columbia River to Oregon, you'll marvel at the spectacular views. St. Cloud provides an accessible restroom. A little further east, near milepost 32, turn on to Skamania Landing Road and proceed a quarter of a mile over the railroad tracks to Sam's Walker Day Use Area. At the trailhead, be sure to read the history provided on interpretive signs. Take the opportunity to enjoy the history of this site on the old Sam's Walker homestead. Acquired and restored by the U.S. Forest Service in 1990 and opened to the public to enjoy in 1993. The trail is accessible, it's compacted gravel, and pretty narrow, but it will accommodate wheelchairs to the picnic area. From the picnic area, I'm looking across the Columbia River at the spectacular gorge views. Our last recreational stop really excites the fisherman in me. It's an accessible fishing platform. We're at Little White Salmon National Fish Hatchery on Drano Lake. A new accessible fishing ramp and platform at Drano Lake provides enhanced fishing opportunities for wheelchair anglers, the elderly, and other people with disabilities. Looking out over Drano Lake, you'll notice the fishing platforms used by tribal fishermen. The Little White Salmon National Fish Hatchery is just a short distance from here. Parts of the hatchery, including the viewing room and restrooms, are accessible. The Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area has been preserved for everyone to enjoy, now and for generations to come. Many of the recreation sites in the gorge are accessible, and plans for even more accessible sites are underway. So come on out to the gorge. The entrance to the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area is literally minutes away from downtown Vancouver or Portland. Thanks for watching. I'm John Williams, and I'll see you soon for another accessible journey.